Hello everyone, this is Matthew with Evidence-Based Faith. Thank you for coming onto my channel. Today I'm going to be defending the first premise of the Kalam Cosmological argument, which states, whatever begins to exist has a cause. Now I would argue that the first premise of the Kalam was established a long time ago, but it seems there are still some people that question its validity. So let's see if we can clear up any confusion. First of all, the first premise is evident from our own personal experiences. When things happen in our everyday lives, we're always trying to find the cause, whether it's the car breaking down, or going to the doctor for an illness, or something catching on fire. Our own intuition tells us that things that occur, or come into being rather, have causes. We have no experience of things coming from nothing. If that were the case, then it would be inexplicable as to why anything doesn't just pop into existence. And of course, if you were to apply this same logic to the universe, you would have to believe that the universe just popped into existence for no reason. That doesn't seem very convincing or scientific for that matter. Secondly, the world of science depends on the validity of premise 1. The principle of cause and effect applies throughout all the sciences. We never see that violated. So why would anyone expect that to be violated at the cosmic beginning of everything? If someone truly does want to argue that something can come from nothing, then they have to actually have an argument and not just beg the question. Although I'm not sure how that would work, since what we mean by nothing is the absence of anything. Now, another objection to the first premise that I've heard recently is that it's unsound because it hasn't been established that things begin to exist, but rather things emerge. And they do so in a process of transition from necessary and sufficient antecedents over some amount of time. The person that raised this objection argues that for something to begin to exist, it would have to transition from non-existence to existence instantaneously. So in their view, things don't begin to exist, but rather they emerge over time. The issue I take with this objection is I don't know of anyone who is arguing that things that begin to exist are coming into being instantaneously. I don't know of any apologist or philosopher that has made such an argument, but rather what is argued is things that begin to exist have a starting point. Also, I think this objection misses the main point of the premise. The main point is things that begin to exist, or have a starting point if you like, do in fact have causes. So even if you want to use the word emerge instead of begin, the conclusion of the premise would still be the same. And if we can agree on that, then I think we can set aside the preference of which word to use. Although at the end of the day, I think this is a strawman objection. Because again, I don't know of anyone who is arguing that for something to have a beginning, it must come into being instantly, nor is the word defined that way. I realize sometimes it may be hard to identify exactly when something does begin to exist. For instance, does a piano come into being once it's fully formed, or does it come into being when the first piece of wood is assembled? But either way, it still has a cause, and that's the main point. So in closing, I just want to say I truly don't understand why people want to claim that the first premise of the Kalam hasn't been established. Everything we experience in everyday life, and also everything in the scientific realm, makes it very clear that things that come into being have causes. Therefore, if someone wants to challenge this, they have to have some justification for it. So far, I haven't heard of any. Well, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you think, and remember to like and subscribe.